For all you people out there that are all on the refs with the holding call against Schuster, Bradbury grabbed his jersey once, they let it go. He grabbed it the second time, you have to throw the flag. Sorry, it's holding. And even after the game, they interviewed James Bradbury, and he said, I held him twice. I was hoping they would let it go, but I held him. Like, everybody's on this. The NFL scripted, and the refs are handing games. He grabbed a handful of jersey once and spun him, and then he grabbed his jersey again. In what world do you not want a ref to call that holding? On this episode of Bustin' Chops and Calling Shots, how about those Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions? We talk about the big game. We break everything down for you. What a night. What a game. We talk about the QB carousel, little Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson. Where are these guys going to end up? And John gives you some tips in his betting corner. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Sorry my voice is going to be a little crackly tonight, but just have to start this off with, how about those Kansas City Chiefs? Getting it done. Super Bowl champions, baby. John, how you doing?
You got to fight for your right
to party.
Look, congratulations to you and I.
Thank you.
Because
Absolutely.
I don't promote it like you, but I am a diehard Chiefs fan. Just sometimes you shove it down my throat so much.
There's
Because
a
I like
reason,
the
though.
Redskins.
It's times like this. There's a reason.
But yeah, it was a big win as a fan. But even more importantly than anything, we had a rough start there after that New Mexico loss. Then Wednesday was really bad, and everybody wanted to jump off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? Went 3-1, 2-1, 9-2-1 on Saturday. And then today we ended the NFL season 6-0 to finish 64 games over 500 for the NFL season. Guys, I mean,
You're pretty good at this.
There's a couple. First of all,
maybe you should make this your job. Like, you're pretty good.
I know. First of all, there's so many people. Our guys. We got 4 people that signed up today: Harley, Steven, Sean, and then like our main guys, right? Like Tony, Alec, and Miles. I mean, no offense to the rest of y'all, but I just got a different relationship with Alec and Miles. Hopefully, I have that relationship with everybody one day. But David and Joel and Michael D, Darren, Shannon, Mark,
Baron, Brett,
Victor, Baron. I gotta get a hold of Baron, man. I've been trying to call him. Luke, that just came on board. Ant, Brett, Ben, just so many guys, man. I'm sorry if I missed you, but just the love you guys gave tonight, I appreciate it. And it was funny because in my moment of, as I was posting like some of my slips on Twitter, because I didn't really have a bit. I mean, the biggest single bet I had tonight was I had 1,200 on the teaser, right? But I bet a few thousand on props here and there, and so I was just $100 here, $50 there, right? And I came out making good money, but I more or less had fun because I didn't have to stress it, right?
Yeah.
But man, it was funny because I had a couple of people say, well, why don't you just give everything out for free if you're so good?
Yeah.
And then I had another guy tell me, this is maybe the most laughable comment I've ever heard.
No,
and I
lay
will
it on
say,
me.
there are
I'm
some
in a good mood tonight. Lay it on me.
Yeah. You might lose it here on this one laughing so hard.
Probably.
You might piss yourself, actually.
Nah, maybe. It's that kind of
Look,
night.
there's a lot of people in the business that either I've met or haven't met. One guy stood outside and waited for him to be done, and he actually was gracious enough to take the time to come out and have. We chat for like 15 minutes inside Circa, and that's Matt Humans, a guy I really respect. I think he's one of the best in the business that does it. There's other guys I've talked about, the Steve Fezzik, some of the old heads of Vegas and all that I really respect. And I get knowledge from, right? I listen to a lot of podcasts, Mitch and Paulie, they have some good, and you say, well, John, why do you listen to all that? Well, I do it because I like to know what makes a gambler tick. And I I follow nobody, but I absorb as much knowledge as I can because I'm no different than an athlete, a doctor, a lawyer, a banker, a landscaper. I'm always trying to perfect my craft.
Yep.
But I had a guy tonight tell me that I was trying to recruit, and he hasn't answered me, right? I'm like,
the suspense is killing me.
Yeah, I'm like 29-16 with this buzzard, right? And I said, after tonight, this is it. So text him back, finish the NFL season, 64 games over, 9-2-1, 6-0. I'm the best there ever is, and there's nobody better. And again, I mean that, I don't mean that to be disrespectful in no way, shape, or form to any of the greats that are out there. But there's just nobody better, right?
Did you say the best there ever is?
Yeah, I'm the best there ever is, best there ever
English wasn't your strongest suit.
Yeah, whatever.
So was it?
But it's because the grace of God gave me a talent, and I work on my talent, and I work very hard at this. But he said, nice try, but I know a lot of people that are better. And the old me would have got mad, right? But now that I'm wiser in life, I just laughed and said, if you can find somebody that's 271 games over 500 since April 1st and has been at least 150 games over 500 for 13 years in a row, please give me their number so I can kick my feet up and not work. Again, the only difference between me and everybody else is, Chop, we're not on some major network.
Not yet.
And we don't live out in Vegas, right?
No, I'm not going to do that.
And the guy is like, why don't you just give everything for free? Because I'm not out to get clicks. I got a different end game. I haven't even told you my end game about why I do what I do. And it's a very personal thing, right? I don't need a house with like 8 cars and fountains with lions shooting water. That's not why I do what I do. I love helping people. But I just found those comments hysterical. But look, to all my winners, money never felt so good like it do tonight. Yeah. And on top of it, I posted 3 plays on Twitter, right? For golf.
Yeah.
You know who one was, right? Scotty Scheffler coming in plus 1,300. That's how I do what I do, man.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, well, pay attention to Twitter.
Yeah, I got to start following Twitter more.
I mean, here I am working like a madman. You're over there looking for Mahomes' jock straps. But to you, congratulations to me, but congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
And I will say, Pat Mahomes tonight put on a top 5 Super Bowl legendary performance, and kudos to him. And Andy Reid called he called the perfect game in the second half. And really the first half, just the Eagles, I said this to you right before we came on the air. I said, it was a legendary performance in the second half, and Reid's play calling was amazing. But even as I was watching the highlights and they got him here on ESPN, I don't even know. Part of me's like, how did the Chiefs win that game and go up?
Here's how they did it. It's exactly what we talked about. They needed to establish the run and run effectively, and they needed to stop the run for Philly. Philly really didn't run the ball on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs were able to run the football for like 150 yards on the ground. That was the recipe for success for them. They had to be able to run the football. And Pacheco, he is a monster, man. He runs so hard.
Cash and tickets for us, the over 49.5, the TD. When.
And then the other thing with that is, look, Mahomes goes down there right before the half. Grimacing, obviously, high ankle sprains especially are no fun. And we talked about this a little bit in the episodes leading up to the Super Bowl was, you got to make sure he doesn't re-aggravate that. But he came out after the half, and the Chiefs scored every time they touched the football in the second half. Just an absolute incredible performance by Mahomes. Kelsey had a hell of a night like he always does. He's a monster. And Andy Reid called a perfect second half. He really did. And the defense, when they needed to, made a couple stops. Hey, that fumble, scoop, and score was huge. Bolton picking that up and taking it to the house. Like, the defense did enough. And then The offense just refused to lose. And 1-5 is different. He's just different.
Sorry.
You
Got
weren't paying
distracted.
attention to me, were you?
Yeah, I was. I was paying attention. I just
see.
wanted to throw out there, in the last 23 plays, we're 19-3-1.
Yeah, we're on a run.
So that's just how quick it can turn around, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take much when you got the great.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Me, Mahomes, Brady, Carissa Thompson. We're all up there on
make it weird.
We're all up there on the pedestal.
Nah.
Dude, did you see Carissa Thompson in that pink outfit tonight?
Yeah.
Dog! Woo!
You didn't even know pink was your favorite color, did you?
Yeah. I'd fight for my right to party. Woo!
So you give me a lot of shit about Mahomes, but when I talk about Mahomes, but here's what I'm saying. No, I'm not going to be crazy tonight. But when I talk about Mahomes being the best in the game, that second half is what I'm talking about. It's just different. He's just different. And Burrow, hell of a quarterback. He's going to be very good in this league for a long time. I think Josh Allen's a hell of a quarterback. I think you got some other Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts impressed me immensely tonight.
Look,
he looked fantastic.
Sorry, not Jason. Jalen Hurts earned all my respect tonight.
Absolutely.
I mean, they 100% stop him.
No.
I mean,
but with all those guys, with all of that, Mahomes is just on another level. He is. He's just on another level. And he showed that again tonight.
He did.
If there was any doubt of who Patrick Mahomes, in that second half, he basically said, I will not lose this football game. We are going to find, and running on that ankle after he went down like that, scrambling, moving around, that big long run, when he decides he's going to take off and run there, he has to say to himself, this is going to hurt a little bit.
Well, and the other thing, just to wheel back to Jalen Hurts, who 3 rushing touchdowns, ties. He actually ties Terrell Davis for the Super Bowl record. And I was just so, Jalen Hurts has faced a lot of adversity, man.
Yes.
And I just love the way he carries himself from Alabama, but even tonight, because Philly had the game. Philly had that game. And some of the, we talked about him from the pocket, 27 of 38, 304 yards in a tub, 15 rushes, 70 yards and 3 tubs on the ground. Listen, if Pat Mahomes isn't on the other side and the Chiefs still win the Super Bowl, right? If it's not like a Mahomes type quarterback, if it's just your middle of the road, Jalen Hurts tonight may have became the first player ever. Well, not ever. It happened one other time. Chuck Howley, I believe, with Dallas back in Super Bowl VI. But to win the MVP on the losing team.
Yep.
Because Jalen Hurts, I mean, his numbers, again, 27 of 38, 304 yards, throwing, a touchdown in the air, 15 rushes, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, Jalen Hurts balled. And now if you're Philly, give the man his money. Yep. Now, with Jalen Hurts, I think he's got a lot of Pat Mahomes in him. He's going to say, yeah, I want to get paid, but I'll take a little less as long as you max out the cap. Because they do got some guys, Darius Slay.
They're going to have to pay some people for sure.
Yeah, Devontae Smith's coming up. Look, you got to keep, if you keep Devontae and A.J. Brown together, you will win a championship somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like the Chiefs aren't going nowhere, but Philly ain't going nowhere either if they can keep those guys. Because the one thing, the difference between Philly and San Francisco is, obviously Philly has an established quarterback.
That helps.
But Philly's a whole lot younger than San Francisco.
They are.
All across the board, right? Now, Fletcher Cox, some of them guys a little long in the tooth. Brandon Graham. But for the most part, Philly is young. So it'll be interesting to see, but kudos. You got to tip your hat to Jalen Hurts. But again,
absolutely,
like you said, Pat Mahomes is just on another level. And look, 2 Super Bowls, people view you different. Now he's there with Roethlisberger and Peyton. I mean, I still think Peyton Manning's above just because, look, if there was no Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, we're talking about him as the GOAT, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like in the 80s, Elway, Marino, Kelly beating each other up, right? Yep. You know what I mean?
Mahomes is just so young. He's only 27.
Mahomes is so young. I think tonight's performance puts Pat Mahomes top 12 all time already. right? He's ahead of Rodgers. He's, even though Breeze only has one, he's not ahead of Breeze because of what Breeze accomplished over the course of the career.
Absolutely.
But to me, Pat Mahomes is better than a Roethlisberger, a Phillip Rivers, and Eli Manning, a bunch of guys that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Pat Mahomes is he's better than Aaron Rodgers. He's a top 12 quarterback all time. He's probably 12th. Again, I'd have to run through him.
Yep.
But another Super Bowl, now if he can get a third, now he's like in the top 7, and now you start talking, he's got a real chance at this thing. But the unsung guy that probably isn't going to get talked about because we're going to get so caught up in Mahomes and Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it happened on this same field back where I lost our rent money. This field, we lost our rent money. So it was poetic justice.
It was nice to have a good night.
It's poetic justice that the last 2 times we've been here, Patriots, Seahawks, and Chiefs, Eagles, it came back in our favor. So you can drop the rent thing now. I've made up for it. Leave me alone.
I'm still going to keep it going.
But Steve Spagnuolo, what he did defensively
in that second half particularly.
And again, this wasn't an elite defensive performance.
No.
When you hold somebody to 35, but they did just enough. And them holding Philly to those 2 field goals and the scoop and score.
Mm-hmm.
Look, as great as Mahomes is, it's like as great as Brady was in Super Bowl 51.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the comeback looks great enough. But if the defense doesn't make a couple plays, you never hear about Brady. You never hear. Mahomes doesn't have a shot. Yeah, he scored every time he had the ball. But if they don't stop him for those field goals
absolutely
early in the second half, they're screwed. It doesn't matter what Mahomes does.
Yeah, defense came alive a little bit in the second half. And the other thing, too, for the Chiefs tonight, a lot was made about that Philly pass rush, that defensive line. And that Chiefs offensive line did one hell of a job tonight.
You want to pay Orlando Brown now?
Nah, I still don't. But I thought the offensive line played great, kept him clean, and they needed to do that. And they won. We talked about this game being a game that was going to be won in the trenches, and it was. It really, really was. So
it
hell of a performance by the O-line and the defense. They tightened it up when they needed to late. And see, this Chiefs defense, they're so young.
Yes,
so many young players.
Yes,
so they're only going to get better. Only going to get better.
They're very young, and the sky's the limit for them. Again, the way the defensive line played, and it's funny because I actually texted you and I was like, the Chiefs defense is going to cost some game because they kept jumping off sides on 4th down. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Because I had it teased both ways. I had Chiefs plus 8.5 and I had Philly plus 7.5. So I was like, good God, when they went up 35-27, and then of course, but the Eagles come right back down the field, right? And again, Mahomes is going to get credit for so many things, so many throws, and the scramble he had to get him down there close so Pacheco could cash in for us.
I think Pacheco was a key in this game. We talked about him having to play a huge part, and he's a huge reason the Chiefs won this football game. I mean, obviously, Mahomes was Mahomes. He was a monster in the second half. But if you don't have Isaiah Pacheco running for almost 80 yards in this game, it looks very, very different for the Chiefs. He ran hard. He picked up yards when they needed to. Hey, McKinnon had a couple really good runs that got them, in better position there. He had some, and then Mahomes, I don't know how you do that on an ankle sprain, but he used his legs to move around and got some yards.
Yeah,
so that rushing attack was
Mahomes going to be hurting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I text you. I said,
don't know
they put
more
enough
from
Toradol
the ankle or the hangover, but either way, he's going to be hurting.
Well, I text you. I said they probably put enough Toradol on that ankle at halftime. He's not going to feel that thing till Friday. Like they used everything they had to put in that ankle to get him out there for the second half.
Now, I want to ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot on a national podcast, which hopefully we have huge news for you folks the next time we're together, because it's looking like somebody wants us to come play with them.
Yeah.
So
not in a creepy way, like
not
John's talking right now.
Carissa Thompson nor Aaron Nolan has called me yet, but I know it's coming.
One of those.
But that's not the announcement.
That's not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Look, I'm lovable once you meet me. Okay.
Yeah, I've known you for a long time.
And I'm lovable.
Not that lovable.
So hopefully we have a big announcement for all of our winners and everybody that follows us. But I'm going to put you on the spot. Because last time...
All right, I'm in a good mood. Hit me with it.
Last time, you totally whizzed out and went, it's cold in the crowd. Tell me you're going to go to the parade this time.
I went to the parade last time.
No, you didn't. You went to the Royals parade. You didn't go to the Chief one.
I was downtown for the Chiefs parade. I just didn't go to Union Station.
No. You got to go to Union Station. You got to be in there with the piss and the beer and the sweat. And I want to, and you need to live do a video so we can put it on social of you drinking it up with your Busch Light, acting like a fool with Kelsey. All right.
Yeah. So, hey, I rocked the Kelsey jersey all night during this game. I put the Mahomes one on for the podcast.
Can I count on you to be down there and give our winners a live video?
I'll see what I can do.
Are you serious?
I'll see what I can do.
You're just going to leave our people out there like that?
I'll see what I can do.
All the work I put in, and I ask you for one. I'm asking my brother for one thing. And what am I asking him to do?
Yo.
Hey, bro, go downtown and be a part of a Super Bowl parade and get drunk and have fun. Man. Oh, Jesus. Ain't nobody in Kansas City going to work.
No, definitely not. Dude,
look,
there's fireworks going off all around my house and my neighborhood. Like,
yeah, you sent me the thing where the mayor said people didn't even have to go to work last time they had the parade.
That's probably true. I know kids are out of school for sure. Everybody in the Kansas City area.
Listen, I'll never get to be a part of one of these.
Yeah, they're going to win some more.
For Washington, I'm not flying out there for a parade. I already am coming out there for the draft, which, by the way... We were sitting on the couch Friday night watching Super Bowl tickets. And I told Chelsea, I was like, if these tickets get into the $2,500-$2,800 range a piece, we're going to the Super Bowl. They didn't quite ever get there, but I was this close to pulling the trigger. Why would you not go?
Huh? Because it's expensive, man.
Dude, listen, I'm going to tell you like I tell everybody else. We're way too obsessed with money in this world. Like, we want to count pennies. Listen, everybody dies with a little bit of money in the bank. I'm just saying, when I'm laying there, right? Now, it's a little different because I got one daughter in college and another one I'm trying to get to college, right? Yeah. I got to get her through middle school and high school first. But look, along the way, I'm going to live it up as much as possible. And then once my babies are good and on their own, look out, world. Me and whichever one steps up to the plate first, Aaron Dolan or Carissa Thompson, we are traveling the world.
Yeah, I live it up. I'm heading over to Italy in a few months. I live it up.
Listen, there better be a video of you at Central Station, or I'm finding a new podcast partner. Our winners are counting on you.
Nobody's going to put up with you but me. Like,
that's probably true.
That's definitely true.
But you still need to do it.
I'll see what I can do.
Need to do it.
See what I can do.
Hey, our boy Alec up in Minnie, again, one of my favorites.
Dude, we need to go back up there.
That's where I'm going. So next year, the Chiefs are at Minnesota.
Yep.
So I told him, as long as the dates fall right, right, it's probably got to be a September or an October date.
Yeah.
I told him for sure we'll come up. We'll get the tickets for him. He's got to buy us the corn dogs. Did I send you the picture of them damn corn dogs?
Dude, do you remember the cheese curds? Like the bucket of cheese curds that were like, oh, God, yeah.
So, yeah, I want to go up and hang out with them.
It's like a 6-hour drive for me, so it's easy.
Yeah, well, not for me. I got to fly, but that's
when I said something about the Chiefs going up and we go into that game against the Vikings, you laughed me off on the last episode. Yeah, so now Alec gives you an invite, and now you want to go. You don't want to go when I invite you, but I see how it is.
Whatever. I would have went with you. It's just, I'm getting closer to these guys, and I want, like, Miles has moved down to Miami. It's funny. I've told this story about Miles all the time, but I met him in a little bar there in Dallas. And I texted him that night.
Cowboys game, right?
Yeah. When I was on my way to give my oldest daughter a car at college.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, tell me the truth. When we were talking gambling in that bar, you probably thought I was full of crap. And he was like, yeah. That's why it took me so long. But now it's like, great. But he's in Miami. And so I've never been to Miami. Always wanted to go.
I'd like to go down for F1
South
race.
Beach is the place.
See, we have different priorities. So
mine are in line. I don't know what yours are.
so
I'm gonna
Formula
go
One.
down
That's
there.
what I'm Formula One race.
And you can go with me, but we should go down there. He said something about catching a Marlins game. I'd rather catch a Dolphins game. Maybe we could even take Jake and AJ with us. Producers.
We should do it around the Formula One race, and then Chelsea and I can go to the race, and then we can,
Is that during football season?
No, I think it's in the summer. I'll have to look at the schedule. I don't know.
Well, either way, if we go to a Dolphins game, if we're going to take Jake, it's going to have to be in the first 3 weeks because after that, Tua will be getting concussion protocol. So we'll have to do it early.
But he'll be back after a few weeks. So there's windows where you can catch him throughout the season. So it's not just the first 3 weeks.
I'm just kidding you. I know I say bad things and kind of make fun. I do love Tua. It's just a shame what the kid's going through. But
hey, I think he's going to have a good year next year. I think he's going to come back healthy. I think he's going to play well. I think it's going to be really good.
I don't know.
So, are you okay to admit now that Mahomes is much better than Joe Burrow? Or are you still on the Burrow?
Yeah, I'll eat crow. I'll eat crow.
Appreciate it.
Look, I admit when I'm wrong.
Chiefs
I'm
win
not
the
like
Super
the rest
Bowl.
of you
John
people in this
finally
world.
admits Mahomes is way better than Burrow. God, what a day. How does it get any better? I don't think it does.
Hey, real quick, side note.
Mm-hmm.
Did I must have struck a chord with this whole Kyrie Irving thing on social. People are not happy with me.
God,
listen, so I want to set the record straight. We don't script these shows, right? We just hop on and go. Literally, Chop gives me the agenda of what he wants to talk about 30 minutes before. So I want to apologize. I was wrong. Kyrie Irving dribbled it around and pulled up. It wasn't a catch and shoot. However, I see the same shot 30 times every night in the NBA. Listen, folks, I'm not saying it wasn't a big shot. It was a great shot. It is an NBA Finals memory shot.
Yeah.
But
he's still a crybaby.
But all I was saying was it's no bigger of a shot than John Paxson hit twice in the finals. It's no bigger of a shot than Kevin Durant pulling up on LeBron.
Yeah.
It's no bigger of a shot than Robert Ory's 17-game winners he had in the finals or conference finals. Big shot Bob. It's definitely not bigger than Ray Allen's shot. All I was saying is we act like because of that shot, he's one of the 30 greatest NBA players and he's not even top 50.
I didn't even realize Kyrie had that many fans. As much hate as you were getting for that, I was surprised.
And listen, let's just get something straight right now.
The hell out of me.
Let's get something straight. I don't care, right? I love y'all's hate because y'all hate me because y'all ain't me, in the words of T.O. But listen, let's keep one thing straight that I'm going to just shut you down, block you. Don't ever throw the word racist out there. Because just all you dum-dums out there, my oldest daughter is half black, and I think I compared Kyrie to Aaron Rodgers, which one is black and one is white. So don't bring that into the conversation. You want to have a conversation, you want to jab at me, I'm cool. Let's jab and have fun with it.
Yeah.
But there's just things you don't cross the line, and that's one of them.
Yeah, don't play that shit here.
So
we don't play
cut that off. Cut that off. I don't need that. You want to tell me I'm wrong, and trust me, all of y'all were right. I was wrong. It wasn't a catch and shoot.
Well, it's okay. Hold on. You were wrong about the catch and shoot, but you weren't wrong about Kyrie as a person or ball player.
Exactly.
Yes, you got a detail of it wrong, but really the rest of your argument was on point. Is what it is.
That's all I was trying to say.
I was just reading this, and AJ, you're probably going to have to put explicit on this episode because I have to read Jason Kelsey met Travis Kelsey at midfield. And quote was, "Fuck you, congratulations."
Hey, like that's how brothers roll.
Like only two brothers can. Like, did you see the clip? Like Kelsey, Travis scored the touchdown, and Jason was on the bench, and he was like, and kept eating his energy bar,
eating his Gatorade protein bar. I like that.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
Look, man, we were all. If you're a sports fan, tonight was a treat. Like I said, to all you Philly fans out there, first of all, Miss Dolan, I know you need to be consoled.
Oh my God.
My number is 540.
Nope.
532. Anyway, but seriously, you Philly fans have nothing to hold your head low about because, I mean, that was just tonight we got to see an instant classic.
Yes.
This will be a Super Bowl it's talked about for a long time. It's one of the best I've ever seen. So kudos to Philly. You had a great season. And look, Mahomes had the ball last. And just like Brady, that's your worst fear. Just like back in the day with Elway, back in the day with Marino, back in the day with Favre, I would say Aaron Rodgers, but he always pees down his leg. But when you have a great quarterback, the last thing you want is the ball in their hands.
Yep.
Because not only do they know when they have to score, but the great ones know when they have to bleed the clock and score.
And you know what's funny about that you say that? We talked about this a couple episodes ago because Brady and Mahomes do have a relationship. They text each other off the field. They've kind of become friends. And I watched in that second half, at times, Patrick Mahomes look eerily like Tom Brady. Methodical, calm, collected. I know what I have to do to win this football game. Now it's time for me to go do it, especially the drive at the end, take care of the football, bleed the clock. And I talked about this as Mahomes' career goes on and that, they have that relationship like Jordan and Kobe. How much will that help Mahomes continue to take steps forward? Because he did look very Brady-esque at times tonight in the second half. He did.
Yeah. I will say this. I had it wrong. I said it wasn't going to be that high scoring.
I told you.
Boy, I got that wrong.
I told you.
I might have been 6-0 tonight and won a bunch of other little props, but, man, I had that score thing wrong.
Yeah. The other thing
if I didn't do a bunch of exotic stuff with like under 64 and under 71.
I don't know why you kept on that under. I told you over.
Because I just felt like, and there in the first quarter, I felt like they were going to bow up. But, I mean, the Chiefs just got hot that second half.
Yeah.
So,
I thought it was funny leading into this game. I was watching the pregame today, and all the talk was like, if Andy Reid wins it, will this be it? Will he retire? Is he going to walk away? And I'm like, are you serious? And so they asked him after the game, they're like, are you going to continue? And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing this for a while. I really like what I'm doing. Do you think he's going to walk away from 27-year-old Patrick Mahomes? He said, we're going to go try to win some more of these. Andy Reid is coaching for the foreseeable future. Like him and Mahomes are together. Kelsey's only 32 and's playing well. Like he's going to be there for a while. Andy Reid's not going anywhere. Not going to happen.
Yeah, and if you look at Andy Reid, he's so underrated, right?
He is. I'm so happy to see him get a couple rings here to get that off his back.
Yeah, because he was wearing that Marv Levy tag for a couple years, you know what I mean? Where the Bills lost 4 straight Super Bowls and Reid lost, 4 straight championship games? No, 3 championship games, got to. And to be honest with you, because that was early on in Brady's career, if Donovan McNabb is in better shape, you know what I mean? The Eagles win that Super Bowl. I mean, even T.O. was like, look, guy couldn't catch his breath. He was out of shape.
Yep.
You know what I mean? T.O. playing on a broke leg. The Eagles should have won that one, but I'm just glad Andy Reid's getting his due because he deserves it, man. He's such – and, people forget he goes all the way back to those Packer days, him and John Gruden. I mean, that Mike Holmgren tree.
Oh, my God.
Mike Holmgren doesn't get talked about enough.
He doesn't. He really doesn't.
What I mean? And
I think it's because he's kind of like, he stepped out of the spotlight when he was done. And so he's not, you don't see him on TV as an announcer or a commentator. Like he kind of removed himself from it. So I think with Mike, it's a lot of that is out of sight, out of mind, right? You don't think about him as much because you don't see him all the time. So I think that's part of that.
And that Mike Holmgren tree comes from that old Bill Walsh tree. Seifert, Shanahan, it's just amazing how great keeps reproducing great. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
And greatness leads to greatness, man. Like I said, Philly has none to hang their heads about, though. Sirianni has gained a lot of my respect,
Oh, hell yeah.
The first year, I couldn't stand him. I called him Captain Highlighter when we first started this show.
Yep.
He is really matured and really he fits perfect for Philly and that fan base.
Absolutely.
And it sucks that they're in the division with the Redskins because that means the Skins will never win a division title as long as that team's there. But
I thought that
again, kudos to the Eagles. I know it's all about the Chiefs tonight, but I
no,
can't
it's
say
not.
that
I mean,
enough
the Eagles,
how
hell
great
of a
they
game.
played.
Yeah, And I thought that moment before the game, national anthem, like Chris Stapleton. If you guys out there don't know who Chris Stapleton is, absolutely destroyed.
He nailed it.
He destroyed the national anthem. I've seen him live twice. The two best concerts.
Live, I want to go.
The two best concerts I've ever been to in my life. The first time we went to see him, it was the end of his tour. We drove up to Omaha to watch him, and it was the last night of the stop. So he played, not with the opener. I'm talking about how long he was on the stage. He played for 4.5 hours. We got out of there at 1:30 in the morning. Halfway through his set, he's like, this is the last stop, so we're going to keep playing as long as you guys want to stay and listen. Played for 4.5 hours. And the last song was just as good as that voice is incredible. But watching him sing that and just the tears rolling down Sirianni's face. I don't know about you. Every time I'm somewhere with the national anthem, I'm crying like a baby. I was sitting on the couch tonight, tears rolling down my cheeks. Just always. So, yeah, great game for Philly. You guys have nothing to hang your head about. You are going to be back in one of these. You're going to win one. And I thought Sirianni coached a hell of a game.
Yeah. I mean, look, time of possession in the first half, Eagles had like 21 some and
21 to 7.
KC had like 8. Yeah, it was like 21 minutes and something to 8 minutes. Like, just a total. And Nick Bolton, I mean, does he just end up around the ball wherever it's at?
He's a monster, man. Like, I talk about him all the time. He's flying around all the time. He's always close to the football. Yeah. And really, the Chiefs defenders tonight, like, they gave up some plays, but man, they were laying the hammer down. Like, they were hitting, they were flying to the football. They kind of overshot some there, missed some tackles they should have made. But you could tell they were amped up trying to get stops. But Bolton's just a monster, an absolute monster. And for all those people out there, because I saw this a lot after the game, and I even messaged some friends that I have that were giving me shit on social media. For all you people out there that are all on the refs with the holding call against Schuster, Bradbury grabbed his jersey once, they let it go. He grabbed it the second time, you have to throw the flag. Sorry, it's holding. And even after the game, they interviewed James Bradbury, and he said, I held him twice. I was hoping they would let it go, but I held him. Like, everybody's on this. The NFL scripted, and the refs are handing games. He grabbed a handful of jersey once and spun him, and then he grabbed his jersey again. In what world do you not want a ref to call that holding? I don't get it.
Well, look, we just live in a society with a bunch of crybabies. Yeah. See, here's the problem is everybody here in America that grows up these days, and even our age, we're just lucky we had great parents.
Yep.
They, every time they cry, they think they should get a bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, Dad just let us cry and told us figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
So
one busted our ass.
First of all, yeah, no kidding. Love them, no.
Yep.
First of all, nothing is rigged in sports, folks.
No.
Okay, back in the 80s, 70s, some stuff with basketball, college
when the mob was running it.
Yeah, when the mob was running it, there Northeast had a little different. But these days, listen, nothing is rigged. Trust me, okay? It's just it's sports and stuff, and one play doesn't decide anything. It's like we always talk about the Marshawn Lynch. Why didn't Pete Carroll hand it off? Yes, I know it's easy to say if you hand it off, they win the game, but there were so many other plays, right? Like people talk about, Matt Ryan curling up in Super Bowl 51. Well, look, the defense gave up all those points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt Ryan, if the play calling's different, or if Hightower doesn't get the strip sack, right?
It's never one play, folks.
It's never one play, okay? It's just there's always something magnified. And look, there's holding on every NFL play.
Yep. I don't know how many times I saw the Eagles have Frank Clark and Chris Jones around the neck tonight, and it wasn't called. Well, so come on, folks.
I mean, look, I'm not going there. I'm just saying, stop whining. Stop whining. Stop complaining. No call determines the game, right? No. It's just, I mean.
Well, hold on. Unless you're D Ford lining up off sides, and then it does.
He legit He legit was offside. It's just like that whole Rams Saints thing a couple of years ago. I thought it was egregious that it wasn't called.
Oh, my God, that was awful.
Yeah, I mean, that was maybe the worst call in NFL history.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Saints still got the ball first in overtime.
Yep.
So, I mean, like...
It's never going to come down to
in the
one
week
play.
before, it like you just said best. It never is going to come down to one play. No. It's a handful of plays. I say this all the time. I said, I think on the last podcast, momentum is a scary, scary thing, in sports. And so when you get momentum, weird stuff happens.
Yep, absolutely. And you saw that, like, Philly had the momentum, like up 10 at the half. Mahomes is hurt. You don't know if he's going to play. I mean, I figured he'd come out, but I didn't think he would move as well as in the second half as he did.
Hey, look, I was hoping they'd get the ball back. I needed we had that over 2.5 guys for a pass.
Oh yeah.
So
I had McKinnon for a touchdown, and the one time he just missed getting in, and then at the end he has it wide open, and I don't want him to get in because I want to bleed the clock. So that's the only one I really missed today. It happens. I thought he'd get there, but
yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but yeah, great. God, what a Super Bowl! I'm happy.
Yeah.
Chiefs put up another one. Now Mahomes 2-1 in Super Bowls. I would have hated for him to go 1-2. I know he's better than that. So glad he gets the other ring. Now 2-1 at 27. So he's got 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 league MVPs. 5 Pro Bowls, 5 AFC championship games, and 2 All-Pros. So what a hell of a resume he is putting together in the first 5 years of his career. Impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is impressive. It is impressive. So,
how many do you think he can get? 27, he's got 2. Think he gets 1 or 2 more?
I'm going to say he finishes... I'm going to say he finishes with
5. You want to say 5. It's okay.
I do, but I'm going to say 4.
4?
Just because of free agency and the cap. And then, again, there is the gauntlet. Like, at some point in time, Burrow's going to get 1.
Yeah. I think Allen eventually gets 1.
I don't.
I think he eventually gets 1.
Eventually, the Chargers are going to get a head coach. I have to think somewhere along the line, Herbert at least gets to 1, right? And not win 1, gets to 1, right? Which, if they get to 1, that means Mahomes didn't get to play in 1, right? So,
right.
The Chargers are going to get in there to play in at least 1. The Jags are going to, I mean, they got Trevor Lawrence and Peterson. Yep. They're going to make 1 or 2 Super Bowl appearances. At some point in time, and you may call me crazy, but Pittsburgh's going to get back in there.
Yeah, I would see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, they got a small window that they can make some things work. So, and, the big news is the Jets reaching out to the Packers. Saying is Captain Kawasaki.
Well, they're going to have to wait a little bit because Aaron Rodgers is in a closet for the next 4 days. So they're going to have to.
So when did
that
he
starts
leave?
Tomorrow morning. Because he was at the Super Bowl tomorrow night. So tomorrow morning he'll get in the closet, and he's going to hang out there in the dark for 4 days. So,
all right. Well,
God, not the way I would want a vacation, but I mean each person to themselves, right? Everybody has their thing. So
yeah, whatever. God bless them. So, but that could change things.
Yep.
Right. So I think Mahomes, he's 2-1. I think he goes 2-1 again. I think he plays in 6, wins 4.
Which, I mean, what a hell of a career if he can get
4.
He's
top. If he can do that, he's top 5.
Yep.
He'll finish his career as a top 5 quarterback, which is where I think he'll end up finishing. Now, he'll never be as great as Brady, I don't think.
Nobody will. Take that off the table. That's
I don't think that, yes, is he more dynamic, more flashy, all that? Yes, but will he be better than a Montana? See, what people forget is Montana suffered a horrible back injury midway through his career and still won 2 Super Bowls and would have had another 2 I'm a big Elway guy because he took those horrible Bronco teams to 3 before he got back and won 2. I know Peyton only has 2, but I feel like Peyton's still top 5 because he would really have had at least 5 or 6 if not for Brady.
Yeah.
So I think Troy Aikman has to be talked about. Now, if Mahomes gets to 4, I think he passes Aikman and Staubach, who played in a bunch, and Bradshaw. So, yeah, I mean, I think Mahomes finishes as a top 5 as long as he can stay healthy and he can get to 2 or 3 more.
You think he can find himself like top 3 or just right behind Brady?
It just depends, man. It depends. I could see him, I could see them being back in this game next year and then not be in it for 6 or 7 years, right? Because remember, Brady went through a 9-year stretch. They won the division. They were playing in 8, but they just didn't get to the game.
It's hard to get to the Super Bowl.
It's hard, and the AFC is way tougher than the NFC.
It is.
Philly, when you look at it right now, Philly's probably looking across the NFC and saying, what's going to be us and the Niners again next year?
Yeah, so absolutely.
Philly has a better chance to get back here than Kansas City. Because, look, conventional wisdom would say the Raiders will be better.
They can't be much worse.
Conventional wisdom would say, I can't take the Chargers seriously with Moore and whatever the other 12-year-old's name, Staley and Moore, Bert and Ernie, as I call them. But I have to believe the Broncos with that roster and Sean Payton are going to be much better. I got to believe the Jaguars are going to keep ascending. I got to believe Kenny Pickett will take a step forward, which that means Pittsburgh's very dangerous. Okay? Burrow and the Bengals, we already know what those boys are about.
Yep.
Lamar, where does he end up? Right? All indications are today the Ravens are going to franchise him. Does that mean they go out? Now, if they were to go out and get a D. Hopkins, that changes the Ravens and my thoughts about them because that defense is legit and the running game
defense is very good.
So if they could get 1 or 2 playmakers on the outside, totally different ball game.
Yep.
Buffalo, they're always going to be hanging around. I don't think they ever get in the Super Bowl, but they could be a thorn that knocks the Chiefs out in the divisional round, right?
Yep. I think they get to 1. I really do.
I don't think they do. Not with that coach. Miami, they're going to be legit as long as they can keep Tua upright. And look, if the Jets do pull off this Rodgers thing, I mean, I'm not a Rodgers fan, and I know they're the Jets, so I shouldn't even let this roll out of my mouth. But you have to consider them a live play.
Yeah.
So I think the gauntlet for the Chiefs to get back, it could look a lot like Brady's career where they kept being in a top seed, winning their division every year in the AFC Championship game, but just don't get to the Super Bowl. And I think if that doesn't happen, we can't look at it and say, well, Mahomes isn't that great. No, he's just got a gauntlet to go through.
Yep.
Like Brady had to go through Roethlisberger and those Steeler teams, Ray Lewis and those Ravens defenses, Peyton Manning and those Colt teams, Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson and those Charger teams. It's just hard to get back there. So, that's what I think about that. Now, looking forward, right? Right now, looking here at FanDuel, odds to win the Super Bowl for next year are already up. So, way too early. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Best odds in the league. Kansas City Chiefs plus 600. Second best odds, which what I tell you, the team with the best odds never gets there and wins it. Yeah. Very rarely happens.
Because who was it? Who had the best odds last year at the
Buffalo.
start? Bills. Yeah.
Bills, then Niners. In the second spot this year, Bills plus 850. I mean, people just love the Bills. I just think that's a horrible bet, but whatever. Philly is third plus 900.
Wait, the Bills are higher than the Bengals?
Yeah. Bills are higher than the Eagles and the Niners. Eagles and Niners are third and fourth plus 900.
Why?
Go figure. Bengals plus 900. In the 6th hole is Dallas at plus 1,500. People just love the Cowboys.
Not a snowball's chance in hell, folks.
Then it's the Ravens plus 1,600. Who are betting the Ravens?
I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Yeah, Staley and the Chargers, they're 8th at plus 2,000. Why? I have no idea. Jacksonville plus 2,500.
It's good value.
Then I never thought I would say this in my lifetime, but the 10th best odds is a tie between the Lions and the Jets, both at 2,500.
Oh, Lions
Maybe
and Jet
global
fans
warming.
are rejoicing tonight.
Maybe a global warming is a real thing because I thought I'd never be able to say that. And then the Rams plus 3,000. How do the Rams have better odds than the Dolphins?
Yeah, I don't understand those at all.
Look, I tell you what, as I'm looking down through here, Choppy, Minnesota plus 4,000. Look, Brian Flores, I think, changes the world for them.
It does. I think the Vikings are going to be very, very good next year. I want to go to Minneapolis at least to watch one game, but I might try to venture up there for a couple.
They are your NFC team now.
It's a really short drive for me. Like it's an easy drive. You just hop on 35 and you're there.
Steelers plus 5,000.
Yeah. I mean,
Broncos plus 3,500. Now let's talk about the 5 teams with the worst odds. Tied for last is a 3-way tie plus 28,000. Jeff Saturday and the Colts. Which
no, they have a new coach. Hold on.
Who?
They're going to get the.
When did that happen?
Well, they're going to. I think it's going to be the offensive coordinator from the Eagles. I forget the name.
Does he know he's getting hired?
I don't think so. Somebody needs to tell him, though.
Listen, if you're the
Talk
offensive
about adding insult to injury.
Nah, if you're the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, you stay. Stay.
So before
Philly.
the game, they said it was rumored the Colts were going to hire him. So we'll see.
No,
that could change.
No.
I'd stay in Philly.
I'd say Texans plus 28,000 and tied for third, just like I called a year ago today, the Arizona Cardinals, who can't even find somebody to take the job. Thanks, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, nobody wants any part of that, man. We talked about that.
No.
Look, nobody wants.
Look, Brian Flores, they couldn't get Sean Payton, couldn't get D'Amico Ryans, couldn't get Brian Flores. The Cardinals are going to be terrible for years.
Yep.
For years.
Because they decided to go. And did you see Cliff Kingsbury interviewing to be the offense coordinator for the Texans? Like, all of a sudden, the Texans,
look, dude,
it's starting to look up for them, buddy.
Look, Ryans and Kingsbury,
ooh, buddy.
Texans are going to finish second in that division. They're going to leapfrog the Colts and the Titans. I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
Look, they had no talent and were in almost every game. They draft a quarterback, draft a quarterback and build around
Kingsbury can pick his guy. Like,
look,
oof.
the Texans are looking up. I want to know what their
Cardinals are looking
is.
dumber and dumber by the day.
Look, Arizona's just, that's why if you're going to pay the quarterback, I mean, you got to be careful.
Yeah. You got to make sure he's worth the money you're
going
to pay him.
After tonight, I fully expect the Redskins to blow it.
Well, yeah, they always do.
If they don't hire Eric Bieniemy as their offensive
coordinator,
coordinator,
water's wet. Like, of course they're going to blow it.
I know. If they don't hire Bieniemy this week, what a shame.
Yep. He's going to go somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got to, because he's obviously, Reed's going to get so much credit that for him to get another shot.
Yep.
But look, man, I think Washington's a good spot for him.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Washington's a good spot.
They got to get a quarterback, though. If they're on this Sam Howell thing, and I don't think that's going to.
Oh, my God.
That's going to cut it. They said he's going into training camp as QB1, baby.
Well, you know what that means?
Thank God my team has a quarterback.
I just can't wait till they sell the team, because there's nobody in their right mind that would buy that team and keep Ron Rivera.
No
So
chance.
Look, tonight, Mahomes, 21 of 27, 182 yards. He only threw for 182. You told me he was going to throw for 300, and yet Jalen Hurts throws for 300.
Yep. 3 touchdowns by Mahomes.
With under 200 yards.
Yeah, they ran the football well. We talked about it, though.
Yeah.
The key for them to win that game was running the football. And they ran it. And I said, I thought they would run the football more than people expected and be damned if they didn't. They really did. And that was the difference. They had to run the ball, and they ran it effectively. And we talked about that with them all season, is when they wanted to run, when they ran, they were very good at it. They just didn't do it very often. But Pacheco is going to be a monster. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're young, man. The Chiefs, look, for the Chiefs to get back to the big game, let's not kid ourselves. They need another pass rusher.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they need to figure out left tackle.
Yep.
And then I really think the biggest thing they need more than anything is they got to go out and get a big play receiver.
Yeah.
I know Scantling had moments. I know Juju had moments. I know
Juju
Sky
said he
Moore
wants to
is
come
young.
back. Do you think you bring him back, little slot receiver kind of?
I'd
He played well
bring-
tonight.
I'd bring Juju back for a lot less money.
Yep.
But here's the thing. For them, Kansas City, and again, confetti and all that tonight, and congrats to them. But they really, really, really got to take a good, long, hard look at somebody like DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
Okay, you couldn't pay Tyreek Hill, and I get it.
Well, you could. You just decided
You chose not to, and I think that was a good move. However,
obviously.
However, you either got to do that, or I don't think you can get him away from Cincinnati, but you got to pay somebody big like a T. Higgins. You got to restructure your kid. They need a number one. They don't have a number one. And as great as Mahomes is, I get it. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But look, Aikman still had Michael Irvin.
Yep.
Montana and Young still had Jerry Rice.
Yep.
Right? So, yes, can Mahomes do this like Favre did with Freeman and
Well, you look
Sharp
at Brady.
and-
He never really had a big name receiver either, though, and did it
He
without
didn't. He lived off the tight end. Now, that's the other thing. The Chiefs might want to look for, I think he's going to be available late. I know you want to get Meyer. That's not going to happen.
it. Nah, they'd have to trade up into the top 15 to get Michael Mayer.
But Kincaid out of Utah is just as good as Mayer, or the tight end out of Oregon State. I can't think of the kid's name right now. So when they're picking at the bottom of the first round, it needs to be tight end, but they have got to go get a number one.
Yeah. If they can
DeAndre Hopkins, to me, is the perfect fit for them.
Oh, yeah.
The perfect fit.
Yep. Because then Mahomes can just throw it up to him. You know, Hopkins is going to go up and get it.
Yeah, I mean, but is Scantling, he come back next year? Is he on a multi-year deal?
He's on a multi-year, I believe. Schuster's not. Schuster was on a
1 year. Yeah, you can bring Schuster back, but I still think you need to go get a one.
Yep.
And
I would agree with that.
I still think you need to draft a receiver, a tight end, and an offensive lineman, and a defensive end. Those are the four positions Kansas City's got to keep stockpiling. Because the secondary, they got a good young secondary. It's just going to take time.
Yeah, they signed a 3-year deal.
They need to keep pounding on the defensive line, offensive line, wide receiver, and tight end.
I think their defense is going to be really good.
Kadarius Toney, how long they got him?
I think as long as they want, really. They got him for a while. I think he had a couple years. And what did I say? I said he was going to have an impact in this game, and that punt return sure as hell was an impact. And see, they signed to the practice squad, too. They got the kid out of Clemson, Justin Ross. They have that receiver on the practice squad, too. He's had some injuries throughout the year, but that's a big body receiver.
The kid was a beast.
But yeah, if you compare another tight end with Kelsey, like, because they have, Bell and Gray, but you need to find somebody you can pair with Kelsey, run true 2 tight end sets where they're both just as dangerous. I mean, nobody's Travis Kelsey. I think Kelsey, when it's all said and done, goes down as the best tight end to ever play. I really do.
Looking that way right now.
And in the playoffs, he is really good. Only Jerry Rice has more touchdown receptions than Kelsey in the playoffs now? Like he's...
Yep.
So, if you can pair another tight end with him and Kelsey, I mean, he's gotten, especially these last few years with Mahomes, it seems like he gets better every year. Like this year, he was incredible. He's only 32, so he's still got some tread left on the tires. He's going to be around for a bit, but if you compare another tight end with him, Chiefs are just going to get better. But I do agree they need a true number one, a Hopkins. If you were able to get a T. Higgins, something like that, that would be huge. That really would be huge for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just think it's needed.
But I do think trading Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes a better quarterback.
Yeah,
and I think it made the Kansas City Chiefs a better football team. It made them more well-rounded, and that's why they're hoisting the Lombardi tonight. It made them a better team.
Kudos to them, man. Kudos to them.
Kudos to Brett Veach, man.
Yeah, back to the Jets. So let's talk about this Aaron Rodgers thing. What do you think about this? What's going to happen here? Because the Jets are serious.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see Rodgers going to New York. I just don't feel like he would do well in that New York environment. I feel like that's a place that kind of chews you up and spits you out, and I don't think Rodgers wants to deal with that. I don't know. For me, if you're Green Bay, why would you not just hang on to him and try to make a run? Like the NFC's weak, add some pieces.
I'm with you.
I guess I don't understand from Green Bay's perspective. Because look, Jordan Love is not the future of the Green Bay Packers. If there's any Packers fans out there that are listening to this, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but he ain't going to get you there. Like, it's not going to happen. So for me, if you're a Packers fan or you're the Packers front office, put some pieces around Rodgers and try to make a run. Because Rodgers, what do you got? 3-4 more years in him probably that he can play.
Look, if they were,
and the NFC's so weak that
I'm with you.
Your opportunity is now.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Look, if as much crap as I give Rodgers, if they were to bring him back and to add a DeAndre Hopkins to go along with those young kids, Watson and Dobbs, I would consider Green Bay right there with San Francisco and Philly.
Yeah, because those young receivers for Green Bay, like they started out the season, but down the stretch, man, they started to play a lot better. So you get another offseason if Rodgers will work with them, and then you add a big play receiver like a Hopkins. Next year could be very different for Green Bay.
But are they just so over it and ready to move on?
But what are you moving on to? You know, we talk about this all the time. Okay, if you're going to get rid of the guy, who are you going to get to replace him? We talk about this with quarterbacks and coaches. Like for the Ravens, if you let Lamar go, who are you going to replace him with?
Well, I get that, but here's the difference in my eyes of Lamar and Aaron Rodgers. Lamar has a lot of ball left.
He does.
Rodgers has 2 years max.
I'd say 3 to 4.
No, he's playing 2 years. That's it. If you're Green Bay and you're able to get 2 1s and a 2, I think you got to pull the trigger.
But see, for me, if you're Rodgers, I think it makes more sense to go to the Raiders with Adams.
Why would you go there? That's where I
would go.
You got Mahomes and the Chiefs, Herbert. I know they have 2 12-year-olds trying to coach that team, but there's still Herbert and all that talent with the Chargers. And look, Sean Payton and the Broncos are going to be legit.
If you're the Jets, you're still going to have to deal with those guys in the AFC. If you're going to do anything, you stay in Green Bay because the NFC is the weaker conference. Like, it doesn't make sense really for Rodgers to go to the AFC at all.
Well, look, I think he was an idiot by saying he wasn't going to San Francisco. I mean, that would have been my last. Yeah. Get me back home.
You know, you talked about this. I think we talked about it a couple episodes ago, maybe the last episode. But like, if you're a quarterback right now looking for a job, you're telling your agent, "Send me to the NFC. I don't want to go to the AFC." Like,
well, look, Derek Carr. Kudos to him. I was scared he was going to do the deal with the Saints.
I had a feeling he wasn't. I mean,
now they're going to have to cut him. He's going to be a free agent, can go wherever he wants.
But that makes way more sense for Derek Carr.
For him,
smart move for him, because now you can be picky. You can go and put yourself in the right position.
Not just that, he sticks it back to the Raiders. Now he looks at him and says, "You ain't getting jack for me. Screw you." Yep. So, okay, now that landscape is cleared, if you're Derek Carr and you have to give nothing up to get him, I said this before, I just don't understand if you're San Francisco, how you don't pick up the phone and call him.
I think if you're San Francisco, I think if you're Washington, I think there's a lot of teams that could use Derek Carr and could be very good with him. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I mean, I just didn't like him going to the Saints. Now, if he had went to the Saints, they win that division. But if he goes to
then what do you do after that?
Yeah. If he goes to Carolina, they win that division.
Right.
I think Carolina's in a much better spot than New Orleans. And,
if I was going to pick between those two, I'd be going to Carolina and not New Orleans.
Yeah, the defense.
The problem with New Orleans is their cap situation is awful.
They're screwed. They're screwed for 3-4 years.
Yeah, they're in dire straits with the cap. So, if you're going to the Saints, you're basically saying, I know we're not going to put a team together to make a run. Because it's going to take the Saints some time to get back.
Can I throw out something wild and crazy?
You always do. I don't know why you'd stop now.
I mean, two situations. If you're Green Bay and you trade Rodgers and get a bunch of picks, do you go sign Derek Carr?
I mean, it makes sense. Because, look, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure Jordan Love, great kid. He's not the future of your franchise. I think you've seen all you need to see to know he is not the future of your franchise. I don't know what more he's got to show you.
Let me throw this one out.
That's like Washington trotting out Sam Howell. He's not the future of your franchise.
Washington. Washington should get Eric
be a great spot
and Derek Carr. I don't know why it's so hard for them.
That would be fantastic. And you're in the NFC that is noticeably weaker than the AFC.
Well, let me ask you this. Has Daniel Jones signed that extension with the Giants?
Not yet.
If you're Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones or Derek Carr?
Derek Carr, 100%. No questions asked. No questions asked.
I mean,
nothing against Daniel Jones. Sure, he's a great kid. But I'm just saying, not trying to make enemies on here. And I can say that because I'm much older than him. I'm sure he's a great kid. However, not the future of your franchise.
So San Francisco should pick up the phone.
San Francisco, Washington, Carolina. The
Green Bay. If they trade Rodgers,
if you trade away Rodgers, you get those picks, all that capital, then you just go sign Carr, and you can use those picks to bolster the offense and defense. Great move for Green Bay. I think they're gonna trade. I honestly think, and I hope I'm wrong, for Green Bay and their fans' sake, because I think they have one of the best fan bases in football. I think they're gonna trade him and trot out Jordan Love, and I think that is obviously showing no love to your fan base.
You have to trade Rodgers if you get 2 1s and a 2. That's
you have
too
to,
valuable.
But then you have to find somebody else to play quarterback.
Listen, I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers within the BCCS family, but
no, Tua is the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Get off of it.
You want Tua over Derek Carr?
Yeah, I'd take Tua. Absolutely.
No way, dude.
100%.
Let me ask you this.
Riddle me this, Batman. What you got?
Does Dallas really think Dak's better than Derek Carr?
We talked about this. I thought Aaron Rodgers going to the Cowboys was a perfect fit. It really makes so much sense.
No, I'm talking about Derek Carr going to Dallas. And they trade Dak and get off Dak.
Nah, if you're doing that, I'd probably keep Dak. But I would take Aaron Rodgers over Dak.
You don't think the Raiders would give you an overhaul of picks for Dak?
What does the Raiders pick situation look like? Because didn't they give up a lot for Devontae? Or did he sign him in free agency?
Free agency.
Oh. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'd go with Derek Carr over Dak.
I think San Francisco makes the most sense. I think the Giants the Washington makes the second, Giants make the third.
Yeah. I could see that.
Brian Daboll and Derek Carr could build something. Look, I'm just not sold on Daniel Jones.
I don't think anybody else is. That's why they haven't given him the money yet.
I mean,
they were like, we'll talk about it,
All right. So that's Derek Carr. We talked about Rodgers, talked about Carr. Last QB on the carousel here. The Ravens are going to franchise Lamar.
Again?
I think Lamar, once they franchise him, I think this is where you go into separation mode before.
Have they already
actual
said they're going to
divorce.
franchise him?
Yeah. If a deal's not struck by whenever.
Well,
it
if a
is.
deal's not struck, okay. So there's still
well, and all reports are they're far, far away from each other.
he has got to get an agent. Like, he has got to. I get you want to represent yourself or you want your family to represent you, but you probably should have signed the contract last season. Because what happened, and we talked about this with Lamar, he had to play a full season and not get hurt, and he had some injury bugs bite him this year. So the best thing for Lamar was to sign the deal before the season last year. Now he's put himself in a position where he got hurt this year. He wasn't able to go every game. And now a team's going to look at it like the Ravens and be like, oh, well, we didn't have him for some of the season. Is that offer going to be the same? Is it going to be as good?
Well, let me ask you this.
He put himself in a really tough spot. And whoever gave that kid the advice to not sign that contract deserves to lose the job they don't even have. Just a fact.
In the words of Bobby Boucher, my mama said.
Yeah, well, your mama screwed you, man. You should have signed the contract.
So here's my thing with all that.
Lamar needs to go to the Colts. Only if they bring Eric Bieniemy, though. I feel like that combination in Indy, Colts make a run.
You know,
but they're not going to do that.
I think if you're Jerry Jones, you pick up the phone. It's a swap. We'll give you a first-round pick in Dak for Lamar.
I'd much rather have Lamar than Dak. Absolutely. I think Dak, we talk about this with quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks that can get you to the playoffs. There's quarterbacks that can get you to a Super Bowl. Then there's quarterbacks that can win you a Super Bowl. Dak can't even get you to one. So maybe try somebody else. Dak's never going to get the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. I hate to say it. Sure, he's a great kid. But he's not going to get them to a Super Bowl.
NFL's Man of the Year.
He's not going to get them to a Super Bowl.
Got booed off stage accepting the award.
Like, come on, Eagles fans. Like, read the room. He's accepting the Walter Payton Man of the Year, the best award in all of the NFL, and you boo him. Like, read the room, know the situation, keep your mouth shut.
They did read the room. They didn't throw batteries at him like usual.
If they could have hit him from their seats, I'm sure they would have threw batteries at him.
Hey, look, man. I gotta go to a Philly game in Philly. Obviously, I'll have to dress up in Philly gear because there's no way I'm wearing another team's gear in there. No. But man, you gotta. Hey, kudos to them. I mean, they love their Eagles.
Yeah, city of brotherly love.
The curse of the Rocky statue. That's
so
over
those
now.
were Eagles fans. You know, there were no Chiefs fans that were dumb enough to really do that. That was some planted, staged, fake news shit. That's what that was.
Wow. Easy there, CNN.
It is what it is.
All right. Wow.
Not CNN. Wouldn't that make me fine?
So Lamar Jackson, where when the smoke clears, where does he end up here?
I don't know, man. It's tough. I think he'd be great in Indy. I think he'd be great in Tennessee. I think the Titans are a great option. Pair him with Derrick Henry.
I see, Miss Dolan. Huh? Sorry.
You pair him with Derrick Henry, like Tennessee. That's a really good landing spot.
But again,
for him.
if you're him, get me out of the
send
AFC.
him to Washington.
Oh, that would be too. Look, him and Eric Bieniemy.
If you could pull that off.
Myself,
no, let it go. No. I do have we'll circle back to the Super Bowl just real quick on one point. Who in the hell thought it was a good idea to spray paint the entire field? Not just the logos. They even spray painted the green part. It was like they were playing on ice out there. Everybody was slipping and sliding around. Whoever decided that was a good idea, oof. Like, you're lucky you didn't have an ACL or a big injury, because the field conditions were awful.
Old Roger Dodger Goodell at it again.
Like, for the Super Bowl, you got to do better than that. Come on.
Old Roger Dodger.
Something.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Lamar in Tennessee, I think, makes a lot of sense. Or in Washington.
No,
but are the Ravens going to trade him across the Beltway there? Probably not.
It's not in the same conference. Well, look, who knows what Washington's doing? They're a disaster.
Yeah, the team, the city, everyone who works in
I told you,
just all bad.
I want new parking lot attendants. I want new trash people. I want a new lady that serves the wieners.
Have they talked any more about them building them a new stadium, or is that still on hold? Because it was like they dangled
You got to get an owner first, and it's just an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
It's like a nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Just a disaster.
Well, John's betting corner tips for us tonight. Anything else you want to talk about? I'm still on a Chiefs high, so
yeah,
Super Bowl champions, baby. Ooh, it feels good.
Congratulations. Yep, we focused all on the Super Bowl, and rightfully so. We can put this to bed. We don't have to hear Chop talk about Mahomes at least till draft.
Hey, look, I talk about him a lot, but everyone needs to admit now just how damn good he is.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good.
All right. Can I have the floor now?
Hey, I thought I restrained myself very well tonight. Did I not?
Wake
I thought
me
I
up
did.
when you're done.
Oh, God. I'm not that bad. It's not like I'm talking about look, it's not like I'm a Cowboys fan talking about how my quarterback's the best quarterback in the world.
At AA. There's not a problem about drinking.
Yeah, well,
Jesus.
it's not that bad. At least I make good points. I'm coherent.
Honey, I don't have a problem with porn. I'm going to the bathroom and look at Penthouse. I mean, that's what you sound like. For
No,
God's
it's
sakes.
not. It's not that bad. You make it
Jesus.
sound so bad. It's not. Look, my
we
team
should
just has the best
poll-
quarterback in
We
football.
should poll all of our listeners, and they'll agree with me.
Well, I mean, they all know it's true now. Everybody watched that second half. They knew who the best quarterback
What,
in
that
football is.
you're all over Mahomes' jock? Yes, they all know it's true. I'm glad you can admit that.
God, he's good. He's just
Oh, my
good.
God.
All right, let's go. John's
Do y'all
betting
need
corner.
a minute?
No, I'm good.
Me
What we
and
got?
Mahomes, can y'all separate for 2 seconds?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good.
All right.
Sounding
Hey,
professional.
look, man,
Best
271 games.
quarterback in football. Super Bowl champion. Ah. God. Sounds good. Wait. Hold on. 2-time Super Bowl champion.
You know, the only thing that makes this any better is I won a couple grand tonight. That's the only
You did.
reason I'm able to pick.
Look, it was a
Bowl.
great weekend
put up
for the
with all
guys. I'm happy for everybody. Like, we had a hell of a weekend. Kudos to you because, man, you pulled out a Hall of Fame style performance this weekend.
Man,
you
we're
and
talking
Pat,
about Mahomes. We should be talking about me.
that's what I'm saying. You pulled out a Hall of Fame level performance. You and Pat this weekend. I mean, you both were just in the zone.
Yeah,
Applaud
yeah,
you,
yeah.
big guy.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, betting
Yeah.
corner. What you got?
271 games over 500, folks. Just like to say thank you to God for one, giving me the ability and the talents to do what I do.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't come without hard work. I make no jokes about it. I got my TVs, my screens. You know, when we get off of here, I'm going to take 5-10 minutes, kind of depress from the Super Bowl. I'll get in bed about 1 a.m. my time, and I'll be on the treadmill at 4:30 at Planet Fitness. And while
I
I'm
will
on the
not be doing that.
And while I'm on the treadmill, I'll be doing my studying. Will start. Try to get all that knocked out by 7 for when my one podcast I listen to, my daily show, one gambling show I listen to, and the grind will start. And I know there's a lot of people I really respect in the industry that do a great job, but it just is what it is. There is nobody better than me, never has been, never will be. You know, again, I got a lot of respect for people that just got way more money than me, like a Billy Walters. But when it's all said and done, I'm going to have way more winners than anybody else. Might not ever have their money, right? But I'm going to have way more winners because nobody's going to outwork me. Nobody's going to outgrind me, okay?
Yep.
13 years in a row of 150 over doesn't happen by accident, doesn't happen by luck. If those of you that have been following me, y'all should know I got no luck at this point. We finished the NFL season 64 games over 500. We are 271 games over since April 1st. Again, I'm not for everybody. I'm probably not for everybody because I'm a little too blunt and I'm just your honest guy, right? I'm just one of the dudes. I just happen to be great at doing something that everybody likes and they can't do, right? Just like if I needed my AC fixed, I'd call an HVAC guy that specialized in it. I wouldn't try to do it myself.
Please,
right?
dear God, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. If I need, I said something about
Burn the whole block down.
I always talk about 401k, right, and retirement. And that's really how you have to look at me. Money management's so important. Picking winners is one thing, and nobody can do that like I do that. But there's another piece of it, which is your relationship you get to have with me to help you with money management. And again, I know everything to do and everything not to do. Why? Because I did all the wrong things forever. And Chop can tell you he lived through
I sure
watching me stub my toe for years. So it's a process, and I can help you through it. And I really don't, again, I have a different end game that I'm working towards that has nothing to do with any kind of fame and fortune. Hopefully one day I get to share what I hope to turn this into, to parlay into, to help people. And that's a dream I have to myself. And one day, hopefully I get to share that. But, what you get with me is somebody that's going to keep you out of harm's way, that's going to teach you the right and the wrong way, that's going to teach you to be patient, but more importantly is going to make you money. And you have to be disciplined with your money, and you have to be disciplined what I tell you to do. And again, and Chop even says this, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
It is.
Right. So when I go 1-5, or what was it? No, 2-5 Tuesday or Wednesday, and everybody feels like it's the end of the world. And then I come back 3-1, 2-1, 9-2-1, 6-0 on a Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, to give out 6 units and sweep the board on a Super Bowl Sunday, again, you call it what you want, but 64 games over in the NFL is 64 games over.
Yep.
Right? Just to put that in perspective, you're picking up 3.5 units a week in the NFL. You know how hard that is? Really, that's just consistency.
Yep.
And that's what you're going to get with me. I'm going to have bad weeks, bad months, but out of a 12-month calendar year, nobody will beat me. Nobody will outwork me. How much you make will be a question of 2 things. Do you follow my money management plan? Which a lot of people don't even give that, right? They just want your money.
Yep. We're truly trying to help you here. I feel like that's how we're so different than anyone else.
If you're, I make jokes about, but if you're a guy that can only afford to bet $20-25 a game, reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Reach out to me. I'll work with you. I'll get you there. No, nothing is below me. Again, I have a whole different end game, and part of, a big part of my thing is how many people can we help, Chop?
Right.
How many people can we help be successful, right? Look, again, I want to be careful about what I'm saying, but $300 a month, right? I understand that's your hard-earned money and all that, but if you take that over the course of the year, if you just paid monthly the $3,600, what I'm going to win you is far, far, far more than that. If you look over it, and I'm not raising the prices on you, and when you look back 5-10 years from now, what BCCS and our crew is able to do for you guys, you'll be amazed. So don't just be a guy, I can't afford that because I bet 25 a game. No, call me. Let's get you on a plan, and we'll work to that point. Because to me, how many people can I help? How many people can I get in the network? How many people can I get rowing for the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it's all about. And again, to all you people on social media, please, y'all entertain me when I'm sitting on the toilet taking a shit. So please keep sending your crazy comments, because nothing helps me push out a big turd from laughing at some of y'all's stuff.
Jeez.
So
why do we always
I love
have to
y'all.
get so dark?
I love y'all. I love the hate. Nothing makes me feel better. But look, again, please go to the website, sign up. It's February 13th now here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. But look, we got like 4 weeks of college hoops, 3 weeks, and then we're into March Madness, right? And I've heard a couple of people, I'm taking a break till March Madness. No disrespect. When people tell me you're taking a break till March Madness, I know you're a square. Square means you need my help. All right?
Yep.
So let me help you. Call me. We'll figure out what plan to get you on. We'll figure out how we're going to help you and stair-step you the way there. Mm-hmm. All right? There's testimonials like Cameron and Miles and Alec up there on the website. I'm not a phony, right? And just ride it out. And here's another thing. If I call you, pick up the daggone phone.
Maybe people are busy, man.
I don't care. There should be 3 people, 4 people. Your mom, your dad, your kids, or me.
You are one of the worst people in the world to pick up the phone. So really, you telling other people to pick up the phone is kind of laughable.
Yeah, but it's important because money's calling. And, again, I know a lot of people are going to laugh.
Your brother tries to call you.
I know a lot of people are going to laugh this off. But I just want to ask you this. If somebody came to you with a winning lottery ticket and said, here you go, what would you do with it? Would you bundle it up and throw it on the floor? Or would you at least go check and see if it hit? What would you do?
I'd go check and see if it hit.
Okay.
If it did, I'd be on a vacation.
But most people, they don't believe in a good thing. They always look at everything glass half empty.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is hop on and try me out. And I know it's a long commitment for a year, but look, if you followed me from now all the way to March 31st, couple things. 1, I'm going to make you a lot of money and a lot of money for the rest of your life. 2, you're going to be friends and part of the BCCS family for life.
Yep.
And when you look back 20 years from now, you're going to look back and say, other than God and my kids, BCCS was the best thing that ever happened to me. But you're not going to know that if you take that lottery ticket and you crumble it up and throw it in the trash because you think everything is a scam and you think everybody's a scam.
Yep.
So reach out and give me the opportunity to help you.
Yep.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that took it on the chin all year long.
And
I talked to people all day long. I tapped out. I lost it. I talked to them all day long. And yet still, they are unwilling to take help. And they're just going to go into March Madness and they're going to get rolled.
Yeah.
And then they're not going to bet baseball because they think it's stupid. No, they just don't know what to do.
Baseball is one of those sports where you can really make up the most games. Like hearing people that don't, follow baseball, it's kind of funny because that's an area where you can pick up so much. So don't discount baseball.
At BCCS Sports on Twitter and then bccsports.com. Go check out the packages. Please email me, reach out, and we'll get you set up, man. Don't waste the opportunity. We are your lottery ticket. There's a lot of people out there winning. And for all you people that think I'm a scam, enjoy your day at work tomorrow with your miserable boss because I'm going to be chillaxing, going and cashing my tickets at the casino.
Yeah, and you want to be winners like us and all the people we have and Pat Mahomes. Yeah. Like you want to be winners. So,
there's a lot of happy people. And again, if I missed all of our guys, I know I missed a bunch. But look, man, appreciate you guys. There's a lot more where that came from. And just remember, there'll be bad days, bad weeks. There'll even be 2 or 3 bad months. But that's 2 or 3 out of 12. Over the course of the year, we're going to win way more than we lose. You want to know why? Because you got to fight for your right to party.
Absolutely. And
love
if you guys,
my winners.
Yep. I know we love bringing this podcast to you guys every week. If you like what you hear, go over to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a rating and review. It means a lot to us. We love doing this podcast for you. We're going to continue to do it. But if you're enjoying it, jump over there, leave us a rating and review. That helps us out a lot. But I hope you all have a great week. We'll be back with another episode later in the week. I hope you all enjoyed the weekend, Super Bowl Sunday. All the Chiefs fans out there that are listening, I hope you all enjoyed tonight. John's holding his stack of tickets. But what a Super Bowl.
That's
Eagles
not even
fans.
My 3 online accounts. That's just what I'm cashing.
Oh, God. Eagles fans, hold your head high. Your team played a hell of a game tonight, and you guys are going to be back here. Like I said, all the Chiefs fans that are listening, I hope you all are partying it up tonight and enjoying it as much as I have. It's been a great weekend. It's been a great football season. We got a lot of basketball, a lot of hockey. We got baseball that'll be here before we know it. So a lot of good things coming. We may have some fun announcements here for you in the not so distant future. So hope you all have a great week. We'll be back again on Thursday with another episode for you. Thank you for all you do, all the support and love you show us.
Absolutely.
It means
love you guys.
Means the world to us. So thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a great week, and we'll be back with another one later in the week.
Love y'all, my winners. And Miss Dolan, if you need somebody to console you, my number is 540.
Don't call it. Don't do that. Have a good night, guys.